You're masquerading and you always contemplating what to do in case happiness found you. Can't you see that it's all around you? So follow me. Hey, come on, babe, follow me on the Pied Piper. Follow me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Come on, babe, can't you see on the Pied Piper? Trust in me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Don't be scared to move. Hey, babe, what are you trying to prove? It ain't true that your life has kicked you. It's your mind, and that's all that's tricking you. So step in line. Hey, come on, babe, follow me on the Pied Piper. Follow me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Come on, babe, can't you see on the Pied Piper? Trust in me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Come on, babe, follow me on the Pied Piper. Follow me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Come on, babe, can't you see on the Pied Piper? Trust in me on the Pied Piper. I'll show you where it's high. Come on, babe, follow me. Come on, babe, trust in me. Come on, babe, can't you see? Come on, babe, follow me on the Pied Piper. On the Pied Piper. On the Pied Piper. On the Pied Piper. On the Pied Piper.
Long-awaited return of the Spirit Show with none other than the legendary songwriter, record producer, music label executive, manager, co-creator, producer, and promoter of Woodstock 69. And here he is, our man, Artie Kornfeld.
Really happy to be back. I missed you all. You know, not bragging, but, you know, the official count was we averaged 50,000 a show when we were on Artist First. I left Artist First not for any reason. D-Man's a dear friend of mine. He was just going in a direction that I didn't want to go in. But we're still friends, and I'll still be doing political shows there. But this is the Spirit Show. Why do I call it the Spirit of Woodstock? Because it's not about, this is 1969. It's about, when people ask me about Woodstock, what was my favorite part in the movie, I say when the guy takes a bite out of the sandwich and passes it to someone else, he passes it to someone else. There's just too much in this world. There's too many people to be suffering like they are. So now that I got that out of the way, because it's always on my hand. Yeah. And my mother was a founder of the Freedom Ride. So it's like, I grew up in the South too, and New York. So I'm pretty rounded. I always love music. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spirit of 69, which is the spirit of today. Pat Scully, who worked with me, Brady was taped, and it was a Marcus King band, and I was looking for a band that sounded the way it sounded. It just did right, because this is the first show back, in about 6 months. So welcome to the new show, and I hope you enjoy yourself tonight. All my Facebook friends, hello, all, how many of you there are, and stay cool, enjoy the show, and my guest tonight is Marcus King, and Marcus is here with me. Marcus, Are you here?
I'm here. It's good to
Are
be
you
here.
Because you're not over there?
Right.
Okay, Marcus, let me ask you something. What was obviously your influence was your father, right? Is that what first pulled you into music?
Yeah, my father and my grandfather were my first really biggest influences growing up.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been a king for a long time doing music, right?
Yeah, my father, he's still doing it too, man. He's still playing a lot. And my grandfather's passed away a couple years now, but you know, his words are still with me as well.
Did your father and you ever once do a show where you did separate sets, where one of you opened for the other?
Yeah, occasionally whenever you know we're back home in Greenville, we'll do a show together, and it's always good to get together and jam. We don't get to do it nearly enough anymore, but you know, to have that almost like telepathic DNA with one another, it's a beautiful chemistry to jam with one another.
Yeah, well, your singing and playing is great, man. You know, the band's really tight, and it's really good, and it's really got soul, you know. And you know, why don't we check it out? You know, like we like to do always. Everybody, welcome back to the Spirit. I hope you have the Spirit tonight. And, you know, that's just the word I use. You know, Spirit it means a lot more. Spirit has to do with the soul. It doesn't have to do with Woodstock. It doesn't have to do with the music. You know, it does really have to do with Woodstock because it really took Spirit to do it. It really took Spirit to be on the field. And I always feel that everybody sitting on that field had as much to do with it as me. You know, always like it when I hear a new band. That we're having slight trouble. Mark is hearing me, so just, you know, bear with us, you know. And Marcus, who wrote that song Always?
I wrote that tune. I wrote that tune probably about 3 years ago. I think I wrote the second verse on the plane ride out to San Diego before we cut the album.
Yeah, where'd you cut the album? Where'd you cut the album, in San Diego?
Yeah, it was this little the spot in Valley Center, California. It's called the Compound Studios, and a friend of ours turned us on to the studio because they had, you know, really good vibes over there, and he was right, man. You know, we had a whole lot of fun cutting the record there.
Oh, you know what? That's my favorite time of my life is the hours I spent in the studio, and I've done 42 albums as a producer, and you know what?
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. How about to you when a rhythm section connects right on the song, and you know you really got the groove, you know, to go forward. Isn't that a great feeling?
Yeah, man. There's nothing like it. You know, when it really connects and you feel it. You know, it's a physical feeling as much as it is an emotional feeling. You know.
Yeah, you know, my band is with Hugh McCracken and Steve Gads, and in fact, the first time Steve Gads, the drummer, ever played drums was on my first solo album, and Tony Levin from King Crimson, the bass player, first time he played was with me, and David Sanborn started with me. Yeah, I always had a good ear for music. That's why I picked up on your music, you know, and I wanted to get it out to more people, you know. You know, I'm a writer, so you know, this is a funny title. Fraudulent Waffle. What got you to that title?
Oh, Fraudulent Waffle. So that tune is, you know, we were at a popular Southern waffle joint down here in South Carolina, and we were having, having some breakfast, you know, early morning breakfast, and ordered my food like you do, and then the waitress brings me this waffle that I didn't order, you know, and being a broke musician, the tune, basically the first half, which is like a samba, is kind of the internal battle, which is, you know, should I eat this waffle? Because if I do, I know I'm going to have to pay for it. I can't really afford it. And then the second half of it, the second movement, you know, it's, you know, I ate the waffle, and it was a dang good waffle, you know, so I'm glad I did it.
Right. You know, it's funny because with three sites with close to 5,000 on Facebook, people come down here, and because I put my number out on my cell phone, they call and they want to meet me. And I can't meet all these people, but once in a while it's a friend on Facebook, so my meeting place is not in my house. It's funny you said Porch and Waffle, because my meeting place is IHOP. Because I like to go to IHOP. I don't need a fancy restaurant. I like to get the sampler where you get 2 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces of that, two, and sometimes I get the waffles. You know, that's funny. And I said Porch and Waffle. So why don't we? I've heard it. Why don't we just split the world here?
Okay.
Here's your waffle, hun.
I didn't order that.
just like your dad, spiritually.
We are back with the Artie Kornfeld Spirit Show.
Yeah,
Here's
hello,
Artie.
Everybody. It was funny, I was just talking to Marcus, and we were talking about, I was talking about getting sober, because I'm sober 35 years, and, you know, I actually thought, because I did Woodstock, you know, I want the people to know that it's a good life when you get sober, you know, and at 35 years, it is better than it was, you know, because I never really got high till after Woodstock. That's really when I went off, you know. I guess I got affected by it, because just before that I was vice president of Capitol. I definitely, you know, didn't look like a hippie, you know. But I did wear jeans. So let me ask you something. What got you to write that song, Dying?
Dying, that came from a, you know, real place of hurt. You know, the whole album is pretty conceptually based around one heartache that I suffered with this girl that I was really infatuated with, you know, that I sang with, and she's just a beautiful spirit. You know, we're good friends now, but she really broke my heart, and that was the only way that I could really describe the way that I was feeling, you know. It just feels like I'm dying, you know, man, and it just hurts so bad, and it might have been because it was like the first big heartache that I had, you know, experienced at 18 years old, you know, but it was just really the only way that I could describe it, and I've met a lot of people that related to that notion, and, you know, I'm glad that people are, you know, relating to my words, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I definitely do, because, you know, you should. By the way, you know, I have a book called The Pied Piper of Woodstock, and it's not about me, but artists on Woodstock and stage. It's a real true story, but it's not just about Woodstock. It's about the whole music trip from when you were a kid and stuff. And I really relate to it, because, you know, I lost, my daughter died at 16. My wife died at 37, and 3 years later, my daughter died at 16. And boy, I couldn't even leave my house for about, 5 months. I didn't even leave my house. I was so knocked over. So, you know, a loss is a loss, because I remember how sad I was. I mean, that was the big loss, my child. But, you know, I remember when I was 18, and my senior year of high school, and I was going to go to college, and the girl that I had been going with, and I broke up, and I really thought I loved her. But I was 18. I didn't even know what love was. But, I mean, I actually cried, you know, and I really felt so down, you know, and I really felt like, you know, everything had just stopped, you know, so I could relate to it, because a loss is a loss when you get it, you know. Everybody out there, I wish all your children great health and long, happy lives. I honestly do, and I wish you good lives, and keep on rocking, because we got to keep on rocking, because there's a lot of stuff on the radio, and you don't hear enough rock on radio, and that's why this show exists, to put rock that you should be hearing on radio on the best way we can get to people. And the fact that we were competing with the big stations, you know, with the Spirit Show, I hope we get back there, and we will get back there, because you people still want to hear blues, and you still want to hear rock, and you still want to hear some country, and that's what we're here for. And that's why I'm so happy Marcus was here with the style of music he has. It's on the heavy side to me, but I'm an old man. What do you want from me? You know what I mean, Marcus?
I do, man.
Marcus, you had a real good engineer on that, by the way. Whoever engineered it.
What's that?
Whoever engineered did a great job.
Yeah, man. The engineer, Shelby Maddock, you know, we've been dating about 2 years now. That's actually how we met.
Well, let me ask you something. It was a girl that engineered?
What's that?
She's your girlfriend? Was the engineer?
Yeah, she's my girlfriend. That's how we met. Was when I went out to San Diego, and she was the engineer at the studio, and she's since moved out here to Greenville, South Carolina, and she's a really beautiful soul as well.
Well, I hope all three of your relationships stay together. You got her as an engineer, you got her as your significant other, and you know, you got her as a soulmate.
Yeah, man. I mean,
in other words, she's a soulmate, right?
She's a what?
a soulmate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I'm with Caroline now 12 years, and you know, and the minute we met, the first time we kissed, I knew that, you know, because I was married twice after my wife passed away, and they didn't work, and the women are, you know, who they are, and I have some feelings, you know, but you know, the minute I couldn't believe it. I found another soulmate, and I fell in love with Caroline just like that. And we've been together 12 years, and we were the same age. Isn't that weird? It's the first time that I was married to someone that wasn't 25 years younger than me. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to say it. She'll be mad if I say she's a couple of months older than me, and I'm living with an older woman, so I won't say it. But I already said it. I love you, Caroline. I know you're listening. You're the light in my life. When did you get this band together? And who's in the band?
This current lineup has been together about a year and a half. Because, I mean, you know how it goes. As soon as Soul Insight released the first time in 2014 independently, our keyboard player and our bass player left. So my drummer, Jack Ryan, and myself were kind of lost of words, but through, you know, a lot of jams and just meeting local cats and really picking up on what they were doing, we met Matthew Jennings, and he came on and started playing Hammond B3 organ with us and keyboards, and we met Stephen Campbell, who's on bass, through a friend's band who was dispersing, and we were like, hey man, you know, I know you're going off to college, so we'd like to kind of poach your bass player if that's cool. And he said, yeah. So that worked out. And Justin Johnson on the trumpet. And just the most recent addition is Dean Mitchell on the saxophone from Asheville, North Carolina. So we're now.
Yeah, I love Asheville, by the way. You should have seen Asheville in the 50s. There was nothing up there. Just Lake Lure, you know?
Yeah.
It was really something, you know. You wrote a song called Keep Moving. Talking about Keep Moving, are there any gigs coming up that you want to mention?
We're going to be at the Rockwood Music Hall in Lower Manhattan, next to Houston. It's not Houston, it's Houston. From what I was told.
I know. I lived in New York most of my life.
Yeah, I know, man. I was told that it was Houston very many times. I'm just used to saying Houston, man. So, you know, we'll be at Rockwood Music Hall on the 2nd. I think that's a Wednesday, and on the 1st we'll be in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Right. You're going to get Springsteen to sit in, right?
What's that?
You got to pay. You're going to have Springsteen play with you, right? Because that's where he's from. Asbury Park. But he's too old for your band. He's Bruce Springsteen. But I was going to say, yeah. He's too old for your band, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try and get Bruce to come sit in.
Yeah, or standing or whatever. You don't need Bruce. You have your style, and you know, and I'd love to hear the first album you did and compare it. You know, it's you know, I'll give you a call at another time after you get off the air, maybe in a day or so when you're free, just to exchange information with you. You know,
I'd love to.
So. Yeah, no, we'll keep contact. You know, I like to keep contact with people. Like I'm still in contact with Charlie from, Blackberry Smoke. You know, and I talk to. Yeah, he's a good guy. He really is.
Yeah, we both wear Stetson hats, man. He knows what's going on.
Yeah. Actually, Messano was on my show twice over the 5 years, and he's actually been to my house with his girlfriend, and you know. He's come to visit, you know. It's sort of cool because, we're like a song I produced on my label that was a hit actually. It's called We're All Playing in the Same Band. And in reality, you know, we are. And if people realize that, we get along a lot better, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great song because the second line is there's enough guitars for you and me, meaning there's plenty to share in this world for us to be so greedy, Because I don't know about you, I would be doing what I'm doing if I didn't make a penny. I couldn't stop. Because I've had my periods too where I didn't have work for a year. And I know what it's like. And then you come back because you love music. And if you keep loving it and you get better, you come back, You just keep moving.
Right. And, the whole idea behind that tune was just, pretty much just staying busy, and not letting your repressed emotions catch up with you, and just, ignoring the ideas that really needed to be brought to light and confronted. But, as long as I kept moving, I wouldn't reflect on those as much. So I, tried to stay as busy as I could and write diligently and surround myself with people all the time. I didn't want to be alone, and that's where this tune came from.
Oh, so why did you write Opie?
Opie, same girl actually that most of the whole album's about. She moved to Boone, North Carolina, and that's another tune on the album. It's called Boone. But she, pretty much left me for this cat that looks a lot like Ron Howard. So, like a teenage Ron Howard. So, I just kind of put two and two together, left me for Opie. I thought it was a good rhyme, and that's kind of how that hook was born.
Oh yeah, I got burned. I had the big burn because Ron Howard took one of my songs, and he was the hottest producer on TV, and it was a new series, and they were going to play the song at the beginning and at the end and during the show. And I figured, boy, I'm going to be making thousands a week just on this show, and the show ran for 1 week. And I got a check for $315.
You got to rub with Opie.
Well, I had the platinum and gold albums, and I don't even want to say the amount, but I gave them more. I don't have one on the wall. I gave more to charities for children, to auction off. I signed them and auctioned them off. I didn't want people to walk in the house and think I was a gold record, I'm just Irvin Shirley's son, Arthur, from Brooklyn, New York, who grew up in New York and North Carolina and loves music and loves people, and wants freedom for us all. Okay, what's the next song up, my friend?
Be Opie.
Kevin?
That would be Opie, Artie.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are.
Let's hear it.
Got it.
You let me down. Had my heart on my sleeve, and my mind wanted you to believe you still needed me to be there for you. Let it go now, gotta let it go. Can't walk around on my chest.
We are back with
Hello,
the Artie
we're
Kornfeld.
back.
Yes, we're back. Hello.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
I'm used to Z, and now I got Kevin, and you know it's great. It's great, always great working with another talent. You know, and I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now's the time. Is there anything that you just want to say? You know, that you want to put out, since you do have an audience more than 2 people. You have 3. No, you had your girlfriend, your band, and you have Kevin and me tonight, and my lady Caroline. We know that.
Right. Yeah.
It's so crazy because I always think there's 2 people listening, and then I get to figure there was 52,000 people, and I just can't imagine it because all I see is my TV with the sound off, and I'm sitting on the couch, slumped over, drinking some coffee because I had a real long day. But it's been a great night, you know, and you helped make it a great night, Marcus, really, because I was in bad shape there. I was real sick, you know. I canceled my doctor's appointment, and I feel better now.
You know, if my music can bring people any kind of joy, that's what it's there for, you know, and anything that you can relate to on it, you know, that's just what it is, you know, and I try to invoke in people that whatever it is that you're going through to find a...
Is there anything you want to relate to your music and what you see going on? You know, anything about anything right now? Because we have 5 or 6 minutes to do that.
Oh man, you know, it's like I was telling you, you know, I feel really blessed to wake up every day and do what I do, and you know, it's and I was telling you, you know, when we were off the air or on the air, I don't remember at this point, but I was telling you, you know, it's just fame and beauty go hand in hand. It's in the eyes of the beholder, and to me, I'm successful because, you know, I'm blessed to do what I get to do, and you know, I'm just really happy to be here, to be able to talk to you and meet really hip people and like-minded individuals, and you know, just make music for people. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I got a calling, and that calling is to help people that I like you, you know, progress on your path, you know, and then I progress on my path further. So you know, that's how it works, you know, and. So I guess we'll say goodnight because I want to go out after I talk to you, and I won't be there because you won't be there. But you know, but make sure that Kevin, make sure that you get my number. You know, in case because I wrote your number on the back of a paper plate. I was eating a piece of pizza off, so I want to make sure I didn't throw it out, but. You know, I want to make sure you get my number and I'll get your number. Okay, so I really want to thank the Marcus King Band, and I hope you all, you know, felt something inside of you move with the music because I did, you know. And thank you for coming back and joining me on the spirit because we are only one spirit, you know, and we count on each other to hold each other up. And that's the spirit of Woodstock 69. And that's why it happened almost 50 years ago. And when we get back, Marcus won't be there. And I want to say, Marcus, I love you, brother. I love your music. And I'll talk to you soon. This King Band, I won't be there.
I know
right, we're back. Artie.
It's so good to have those of you who are on. Now, I have no idea how many of the, because I did get the official count, from Z-Man, who is a friend, and I did find out, I was shocked when I heard that over the 5 years we averaged 50,000 a show. Because to me, it always feels like there's only 10 people out there, because I see if 14 people post something on Facebook, I figure that's it. But then I realize a lot of people listening are not on Facebook because, we get hits from China, from Beijing, and from Hong Kong, and from South America, and from Iceland, and from, just all over. But, they're American bands, and we're an American country. And which brings me to the fact of, please vote. If you didn't vote at any time, this vote means a lot to America. And, I'm not going to get into where I stand because, I love people. I don't love violence. I do appreciate the soldiers that go, but I wish we didn't have to go. And I think it's so important that we take the love around us, and maybe Woodstock was a direct link to stopping the war in Vietnam. And it's been written up to it that it really formed the rock culture totally. So, and we are the rock culture, and we're music lovers. So, thank you for coming back. Those of you who were there before, if you're new, welcome. And coming up, a friend of mine has been on, who's had 25 first-time Grammy nominations, and is in the Blues Hall of Fame. I think he had 4 this year, and was nominated for the Blues Album of the Year. Didn't win, but it's still that's really high, and he is in the Blues Hall of Fame, and he's really great. So Bobby Messano.
Stressed and depressed in a world of heartache. This getting old thing is getting old. When you lose all hope, there ain't no place to go. April showers don't bring no flowers when the rain is mixed with snow. There's a bitch that wants her money and a psychopath that sells cakes. They're filled with righteous indignation, but it's actually just blind hate. They think they're getting over. I'll let karma be the referee. April showers don't bring no flowers when the rain is mixed with snow. How cold can it get when you're trying your best not to tell them to screw themselves? Where'd the happiness go that I used to know? Those April showers are just ice and snow. I'm running the mountains just to make everybody happy. Can't do it all the time. I love completely. I always help the needy. My brother, you ain't no friend of mine. April showers don't bring no flowers till the rain is mixed with snow. the rain is mixed with snow.
Guys are doing it.
You're going.
Yeah, I'm really excited because Bobby Messano is not only a musician I love and his music I love, but he's also a personal friend who I love. He's been to my home and, but anyway, Bobby is being called right now.
Sorry, folks. All right, sorry. We're having a slight technical difficulty. I'll have Artie back here in a second. Right now, let's listen to Love and Money from Bobby. Thank you.
Better you spend my money like it was made to burn. She put the deficit to shame, spend more than I could earn. When I tried to kiss her, this is what she said: ain't nobody got time for that, let's go shopping instead. The world goes around for love and money. We are all obsessed with love and money. Will we ever break those chains, get back on our feet again? Love and money, love and money. She's looked to be different, at least that's what I thought. So one day she came in saying, look at all the things I bought. Amex, Visa, whatever it takes. Got riders cramping and saints in the shakes. The two things in the world I really need are always taken away from me. The world goes around for love and money. We are all obsessed with love and money. Will we ever break those chains, get back on our feet again? Love and money, love and money. You know, love and money are the two things that can lift you up or shut you down. I've clawed to get where I am today, and it ain't no secret my dues are overpaid. Dropped my last nickel a long time ago, lost my heart on some dead-end road. Songs are sad, songs are true, but I ain't got no one to go home to. Everybody wants the money, nobody wants good love. You flash the cash, you make that dash. You want some respect, gotta pay the check. Between the women I've loved and all the money they've spent, there's a truckload of checks and I can't pay the rent. There ain't no credit that's heaven sent. The world goes around for love and money. We are all obsessed with love and money. Will we ever break those chains, get back on our feet again? Love and money, 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 love, love, love and money. Hey, baby, bring that checkbook back here. Come on.
This is one of my favorite people as a musician and as a person, and it's Bobby Messano. And Bobby, welcome back.
Hi, Artie, and you're one of my favorite people. It's so good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you too. You've been in the studio a lot since I saw you?
Yeah, actually, I'm producing this artist out of she's from Illinois, and we're making a Led Zeppelin kind of record. It's really good. Actually, Laura McDonald, who you might know, and I've actually been in Florida. I'm did a show last night in what do you call it at the Funky Biscuit. And then tonight I'm in Delray, where you are, and doing a little jam session tonight with some friends, and we're going to go hang out in Port St. Lucie for a couple of days with my friend Tony Coulter, and
he's gonna start writing a book on me. So things are good.
What time you just take 2 cards? Tell me this guy.
Oh yeah, I heard you. What did you play? You played April Showers and Love and Money.
April Showers and Love and Money, and tell me this guy can't play and sing and write and get his music together. Bobby, since we didn't talk about the songs, when are these songs from, and what are they on?
Well, I mean, these, everything that I write for my records is about my life. I mean, I've gotten to the point where, you want to, especially when you're doing contemporary blues music or you're doing blues music, you want to be able to tell your story. And it's been a couple of, we all go through rough years and rough patches, and it's been a couple of rough years, and so Love and Money is about going through all those rough patches and trying to get through the other side.
Yeah, it's funny because we've had this conversation on the phone, just talking about about years that I had down years, where the next year all of a sudden I had 2 hit records. It's just if you're gonna be in music, you can't be there all the time. You come and go in and out of the mode, right? So I guess you're in the mode. Are you playing 600 shows this year?
How many?
600 or 500?
No. I'm only gonna. If I hit 125 this year, it'll be good.
Really?
Last year I was a little under 100, and the year before I was about 140. But I mean, the business is so different. There are venues closing every day, and it's just harder and harder to stay out there as a working musician. I mean, it's really difficult. So, I wish it. I wish it would change back a little bit to the way it used to be, but it's just a lot, more difficult. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, John Regan, who played with Peter Frampton for years. We were talking about how you're almost like in a fish tank these days. You go play music, even in, when you're playing other than concerts, when you're doing clubs, and you're just sort of the aquarium, and people notice you a little bit, and then you disappear back into the background, and that's not the way music is supposed to be. It's supposed to, enhance your life and be a huge part of it, and it's gotten less and less and less,
Yeah, it is, and you know what? And that's why I do this show. I do the show to help great musicians like you keep it going, as long as we can keep it going, and hopefully, as we're playing, there are younger people listening, because I speak to young people when I go to schools and stuff, and and I go for free, and I'll speak, and just to get the feeling and the spirit. When I say the spirit of Woodstock, I'm talking about the spirit of music and everybody sharing and caring about each other. So
for sure.
That's why we do this, and that's why I done.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote my first song, and and Woodstock was no different than writing my first song. It was really to communicate and try to get people high, make them happy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how it was. It just meant more back then. It was even the difference in in CDs. CD covers and album covers. I mean, people used to read the album covers. We know that for a fact, and that's why people are starting to go back and buy vinyl again, because they get an album cover and they can read who's on it, and that meant a lot to people, And it's I mean, we always commiserate. God, I wish it was like it used to be, or it used to be better, or it was, but it's just different. But these days it and then again, being out there on the road and seeing all this stuff all the time, it's diminishing. It changes. It's changing a lot, and not for the better most of the time.
But you know what? You do have. There's a matter of survival, and there's a matter of you got to play if you can play.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad you're working, and hopefully. We'll keep pushing, and this show will be, and maybe someone else will do a show. I mean, I had the
Brother man, I'm glad you're back. The show is back. Artie is back. Come on.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because since I spoke to you, I had my whole back done. it was a 3 or 4. It was like a 4 or 5 hour operation, and I had my whole back done. It's crazy. I can't believe I actually agreed to have it done. But I saw a video of myself speaking somewhere, and I was bending over so much. And I asked Caroline, and it so happens I had the best spine surgeon, like in America, one of the best, living here in Florida. And the next thing I knew, there I was, and here I am 70 days later. And I'm walking straight up, you know, and I could get out of bed without a problem.
Hey, we saw you just about a week after you got out, or 10 days after you got out. So
really? That's right. You saw me.
Yeah,
right.
we came over to the house. So you know, we were hanging out in the back.
Yeah, I might have had little days because they did give you painkiller after that kind of surgery. You know?
It was an interesting conversation. And it was a good one.
35 years sober, and I have to have my back done, right? I don't consider it breaks my sobriety unless I really let it get out of control. Then it would break my sobriety, you know. So I like being sober. It's cool. I can't wait to see it. You know, I wish you would have let me know you'd be here because I would have been at one of those shows, even though I was sick. You know,
yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, we would have, but I had committed to this to come to my friend's jam. But maybe we'll try to come down tomorrow and see you during the day because we're gonna be here for at least one more day. So
my failed career is when I went into those periods where you were worn out and beat up and you had to take a break. And I even went to the West Indies for a year and you know, didn't even pick up my guitar till about 6 months. And then I wrote an album and I came back and recorded it finally, you know, so I don't think, you know what, even though I was real successful, you know, in people's eyes, I still feel that you know, there's something to do, and I guess maybe right now, what to do, this is like writing a song or so, you know, and this is like producing a record with an artist that I love, and so I'm producing it tonight, brother.
Take the garbage out and make a gourmet dinner. I leave him do the laundry. When they find out what it's all about, no big black limousines in the driveway. You grab the Gucci bags and run for the hills, 'cause now they see it my way. Welcome to my so-called failed career. 5 suckers and mosquitoes are upon me there. I think I stick to my failed career. That's what makes this blues boy real. Don't get no more real than this, baby. I wake some days in a happy haze and I feel that I've got my footing. But as the minutes pass, the crowd just gasps as Mike Tyson's punch sends me flying. All the girls, they run 'cause they had their fun with the absolute greatest guy in the world. And the nasty little nobodies convinced that they are somebody's, scary like rocks to their addicted past. Welcome to my so-called failed career. Time for stalkers and losers are abundant there. I think I'll stick to my failed career. That's what makes this blues boy real. I'll say it again, baby. Welcome to my so-called failed career. 5 suckers and mosquitoes are abundant there. I think I'll stick to my failed career. That's what makes this blues boy real. blues more real. Welcome to my so-called Belarus. Out of stalkers and mosquitoes are a fun there. I think I stick to my film career. That's what makes this blues more real. There you go, Psycho boy. And shoot for the kill. Never give up till you have your fill. Then you look all around and you see that it's true. When you got something special, child, they wanna take it away from you. Right, feed you with the left hand and rob you with the right. Starved by indifference, pursued by the greed. Before there's nothing left, better take what you need. And you look all around, you see that it's true. When you got something special, child, they wanna take it away from you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way the world we live in. Just a roll of the dice. Keep your eyes on the
Okay, everybody out there, just so you know, while you might be having trouble hearing Bobby, Bobby's doing a great thing and a favor, because Bobby is about to go on stage and play, and he's at a club called Kevis in Delray Beach, he's probably, which I didn't know, only about 7 miles from my house right now. Yep. It's really funny, and we're talking over cables and satellites and whatever, so it's just strange, it puts me into a sleepwalk, which is the next song. But anyway, if you're having trouble with Bobby going in and out, it's because the door to the stage was opening and the music was coming through from the other side. So I want you to understand that and appreciate you're actually backstage waiting to go on stage with Bobby. Because are you gonna jam, Bobby? Is this a jam?
Yeah, it's a jam tonight. Yeah, I've just been doing a couple of these during the week because we're down here in Florida. So I'm a special guest at a couple of these, jam sessions. Last night we were in Boca Raton at the Funky Biscuit. So I was a special guest at that, and tonight it's Caparose. So better than sitting around and watching TV or going out. Instead, go out and do some playing and see some people and shake some hands and kiss some babies. So
well, you know me, except for not going out, I get everything you did today.
You are the king of that, Artie. You are the king.
Well, I did pick up one of my guitars and start playing, which is weird.
Good. Did you get that Rickenbacker back yet or no?
Which one?
Didn't you send the Rickenbacker out to get done?
No, I sent the Gibson, but he wants
Gibson.
He wants $1,400 because it's a '68 and it's worth $6,000. But the thing is, I spoke to Paul Simon, and Paul told me, because it's my guitar, he said, and it has the crack, leave it just the way it is, because people are going to buy it if I sign it, not to play it, because it's a traditional Woodstock's guitar. He said, so don't fix it up. It's got to look like you played it and wrote it.
That'll make it depreciate.
Oh yeah,
it'll depreciate it
on that guitar. Yeah, it'll depreciate if I fix it up.
I'm glad you played "That's the Way of the World." It's such a fitting song for this season.
That's something. That song, just about it. It just makes me think, with whatever direction you went with it, which is in a way the same direction I'm thinking is, that's the way of the world. And I'm thinking how wonderful it was, because I was here in the 50s, and how wonderful it was in the 60s, and how it was okay in the 70s, and how it started to get a little weirder in the 80s, and then the 90s,
Yeah.
And, it seemed like Woodstock was the epitome of when the war ended in Vietnam, and then the country was cool, and it's like right now the world's a mess, and that's the way of the world is. I like to think of it as a positive thing, and I have faith. I have faith in the spirits, like the Indians.
I know you do.
And they lost the Indians because we took the country, we took 1 million acres or whatever the heck. But anyway, that's the way of the world. But another way of the world is to get along, not talk about building borders that are higher, and start thinking about, if we don't get together, the world won't be around long for people's grandchildren. I'll be gone, so it won't matter to me. But how about those friends of mine that have grandchildren? So everybody get out and make sure you vote this year. It's important.
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
Vote,
really important.
Vote, kids. Keep away from oxys. Don't touch the heroin that's coming over, because kids in junior high school are overdosing and dying. And don't go near that stuff. And I don't know, but I don't know what God puts in the ground. So that's your decision. Shit in the 60s. In other words, I'm talking about weed. So that's something that you have to make your own decision about, because I can't make it for you. What song are we up to, guys?
What are we going to be playing? I think we're going to be playing Sleepwalk next, from what I understand, one of my favorite songs by Santo and Johnny. If you want to buy the CDs, all of my CDs are available on iTunes. You can get some of them on Amazon still, and all of the last 4 have just been tremendous, and every one of them has been first-round Grammy nominated. I'm up to 25 from the last 4 CDs. So. And we're still out there cranking it, and I'm doing shows like every week, like we're supposed to as musicians, and I get to talk to Artie on the phone and on the radio, and that's like one of the most exciting things ever, to be with you on the phone, actually across town from you. I apologize about that, but we will try to get and see you tomorrow. But Hold on. I think we're going to be playing Sleepwalk, if that's correct. Okay.
we're gonna go out. Bobby's gonna be jamming. It's bad because I was sick this week, and I'd be over there, watching him. And let's just go out with one of Bobby's cuts, which is really cool. It's called "Welcome to Deltaville." And Bobby, I love you, and I hope I see you in the next day or two. And thank you so much for fitting this in like this.
Oh, absolutely. Same to you, brother. Hopefully Duchess and I will get to come over to the house tomorrow and see you since we're here. But and Welcome to Deltaville is just a wonderful song about a safe place that we all should be, and it's a great way to go out on my segment here. And thanks, Kevin, and thanks, Artie, and everybody, and Pat, and I love you, man. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, Bobby. Have a great jam.
I can go where I can line the sun if I'm low. Not a care in the world. I'm safe and warm, nothing can hurt me there. Let the waters wash over me with newborn's eyes. I can finally see no stress or sadness. I see the sign. Welcome to Deltaville. Even though it's a dream, it's a peaceful spot where we all should be. Deltaville. Even though it's not real, come along and see how it feels. Place I have found as close to heaven as I have known. 30 years on the road, my heart has paid a heavy toll. Let those waters soothe my soul. Through a beautiful rainbow I will go. I stop those walking blues once I see that sign. Welcome to Deltaville. Even though it's not real, it's a peaceful spot that we own. Deltaville. Even though it's a dream, why don't you come along and see what I mean? Welcome to Deltaville. Even though it's a dream, it's a peaceful spot where we all should be. Deltaville, even though it's not real, come along and see how it feels. Deltaville, even though it's not real, it's a peaceful spot that we all